as you mentioned, a lot of time can go off the clock.
Yep, and this is a move that's still important to play correctly. But here's rook f5. Got to bring the rook down. And this is going to work out, but you might try king e2 here.
King e2 is the right try to check from behind. And now, again, what you talked about. This could go on for 50 moves, right? That's what's going to happen.
Think about when we began, right? This is a 30-minute countdown. It's at 25 minutes. I bet everyone was saying there's no way a bullet game can go 5-6 minutes. Well, look at what we've got here. This is not what Denis is looking for. To be honest, just about the worst start that you could have to the segment.
For sure. It's a very easy endgame to hold, but
yeah,
the opportunity cost,
the
opportunity cost of all that time is very significant here.
Yeah, because you could lose a quick game and win one in the time that it's taken for all this to happen. Magnus is absolutely going to play this one on as long as possible.
Just by reaching this endgame, probably a minute and a half to 2 minutes will disappear.
Yep. And the score won't change in terms of the deficit. 12.5 to 6.5 if things go as we expect. This looks like it's about to be a 5.5, 6 minute game. Remember, the amount of time that is on the clock for Magnus can just be, you can wait that out at the end.
Yeah.
And there we go. That is game number 1. If that's a sign of things to come, Magnus is looking very comfortable. Denis has to be careful, not only to get more double-edged positions, but obviously to not get in a spot where the match clock, can just be whittled down like that.
Well, it's hard to suggest what to do differently there. I mean, in the end game, that was just, I don't know if it was unfortunate. The opening is where he's got to be critical because he was lost right in the early middle game there. And you have to think that Denis needs to take some swings.
Yep, completely agree.
And that might lead to some quick losses, but just in terms of, a loss by, 10 points, 8 points, what's the difference?
I agree. It's tough to have that mentality and let the score really get away from you, but that's probably the approach that you need. These are the finals here in London, and I like the way that
push,
Denis has come out in this game. There's clearly a dark square idea that Magnus is going to have. Bring that knight maybe to d7, trade the bishops, but I think that this is the right way to play.
Knight takes e4, though. Magnus sees it, because that pin would have been really annoying, and this is a huge problem. That's the best piece for white is the dark square bishop.
And you can solidify things with f6. It's not the prettiest move, but it really holds everything together. White has to try to break the position, but it's just everything is so well defended.
I would like to see Denis up on the clock, but Magnus's clock management today has been impeccable.
Yeah, very reliable so far. The pawn might keep pushing all the way to f4. You got bishop d7, rook e8. It feels as though Denis does not have anything.
Well, the math doesn't work. There's a bishop on e5. You can't remove it. You have no f-pawn, so you need to maybe swing the rooks to the e-file, or the knight on c2 needs to go e1, f3.
Exactly.
Needs to be some imbalance because Magnus has everything under control here.
Yeah, knight e1, knight to f3 definitely looks like what I'd be considering, but of course, concessions. Every time you do that, the knight's no longer pinned. So the position is just getting better and better for black.
It's a sharp position, it's bullet, but Magnus is still playing excellent moves. And
d3. Yeah, just look at that queen on g1. Cannot move in the position.
Rook e8, or let's see here. All the fun is for black here with the bishop pair and the pin.
Exactly. Multiple pins at that. The queen is well situated on g7. Now, this is not the end of the world, but again, the best it feels like you can do for Denis is to bring things back to equality.
This is pretty, as you said, pretty tough, though, because we have to really factor in the clock. And it's a type of position that feels like Magnus is only either going to win or we have a 100-move draw. The last game was 118 moves.
118 is incredible. It's exactly what you want to see if you're leading the match.
Okay, Denis has made some progress here, though.
Yep, it's hard to involve another piece, but in terms of the
now
position,
there's a problem. Queen e1 check is coming.
And then e2. So that's why queen g4 was played, but h5 ruins the coordination here, and you do not want to trade queens on f2, and so this has to happen instead.
Nope. Magnus blunders a pawn, and
I think he just forgot about it, if I'm being honest.
and the position is still bad for white.
Oh, that's a bad sign. I thought we might see bishop d3 there.
I think you can eventually win the a4 pawn, and black.
So is it down 2 pawns and it's still okay?
Yes, that's right.
It's unbelievable. That's how good the position was, everyone. That 2 pawns have been in loss. Of course, he got the a pawn now, but this is still a position you play on for a win with black.
And now black can use that light squared bishop. The bishop on a2 is doing nothing but stopping the pawn. So now Magnus has 2 bishops versus a knight. Can he make some progress here? Oh, he's like, you know what? Give me opposite bishops because I can shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and probably take another 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, if he wants to. They might just repeat here, but that smile, he knows he could have maybe taken more time if he wanted to. Eric, we have played, what, 2 bullet games, and a third of the match clock has disappeared.
Yeah, this is opposite of what Denis wanted. As I said, you mentioned almost the point that's better to like lose a game in 30 seconds than draw after 5 minutes.
That's right. Yeah, because you'll start another game, maybe even 2 in the time that it would take. We're jumping into another game here, but at this point, you know, you really start to think about the mathematics of winning every game. It's been tough to beat Magnus, period, in this match, let alone what's going to need to be 5, 6 in a row.
Yeah, I'm looking for some open positions and just very tactical opportunities. But the way Magnus has been playing, he really isn't allowing much of that. Or he's been handling the positions very well, like last game. That was a risky setup for Magnus, but...
Yep. He didn't start the match going for those, but he's trended towards them as the score has improved and his confidence is there. Here with the white pieces, Magnus handing over that bishop pair, but would love to maybe trade, perhaps get the knight in. If we see opposite bishops again, Eric, I feel like we could be in for the same story.
We could, and oh, by the way, this decision, do you take with the queen or the f-pawn? Maybe take with the queen. Black wants to play f5. If you're Denis, you have to start, f5, loosen up the position.
That looks good.
The problem that you can encounter here is that the bishop on c4 for Magnus will dominate the bishop on g6.
Yeah, and the king position as well. Start to get nervous about the h-file. If you trade queens here with...
Well, there we go.
F4,
already issues here. At some point, if black's queen vacates this diagonal, f4, f5.
f4, f5 is big trouble. Not to mention, you're going to have simple ideas like rook e7, hitting the a7 pawn, doubling the rooks on the 7th rank. This is an easy position to play with white.
Yeah, rook e7. Problem, it's hard to blunder here. And without blundering, this position is just simply good for Magnus. So we're getting ready for another long game. I think he's going to just slowly make black feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
okay, I like this. I like this. Bishop e8 played immediately. Bishop c6 check. You can at least see a future if you can get this bishop on that diagonal. Maybe rook lift on f6, something.
Yep.
But mating ideas, a chance.
A chance, definitely.
Bishop c. I know, I like it. Bishop c6. He realized I can't tactically put pressure on Magnus with my bishop stuck on g6.
Is he going to take it? Yeah.
And that's very practical by Magnus to sack the exchange. I think that's class.
Yeah, and even trading the queens here, not the end of the world. And by the way, rook f5, back rank threat with queen b8 if that was captured.
Wow. Not only is this like a winning position, I think, for white, but it's very hard to blunder.
Yep, because you need an escape square. As black, you can't use the rook from e8 unless you've moved one of the pawns, g6 or h6. And the a pawn is also going to go to a6 where it's defended. White just has everything guarded.
Queen d8, try to play rook e8 without the rook and queen coordinating. Tough to imagine that Denis has something here.
Everything is just defended here. e1, g1, all the checking squares, and there comes another pawn. Just seems to have such good control of the position.
No, this is excellent bullet chess.
Yeah, queen g5, not even needed.
Wow.
h6, side to side. Now, do you include bishop d5?
Well, if you move your queen now, you can force the queens off.
Yep, take bishop d5. Wow. Wow. What a game pure domination when it comes to